Terry Dwayne Ashford, we're reporting this morning. Reservation at Motel6 is underway at this time, and as soon as we decided that we were going to move with the reservation, the Washington, D.C. Metropolitan Police pulled right up in front of the Motel6 right on Georgia Avenue. As soon as he realized that we were documenting the events, that Washington, D.C. made a U-turn, turned around, and went back the other way. You're getting this report from Terry Dwayne Ashford, SNnews, StreetNOW News, who has just given the authorization to reserve the room at the Motel6. And as soon as we did that, the Washington, D.C. Metropolitan Police arrived at 10:54 a.m. Eastern Standard Time and parked right in front of the Motel6, signaling, and we are there. We believe we have that tag number and also the MPD vehicle number right there. Before we post that, we're going to verify it. For StreetNOW News, SNnews, I'm Terry Dwayne Ashford. We are sitting right here in front of the Motel6 right now, watching the events that goes on once Terry Dwayne Ashford decides to make a reservation at the Motel6. We're watching you. I said we're watching you. Yeah, you right now. The time right now is 10:58 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, and the events began at 10:54 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. That event began with the Washington, D.C. Metropolitan Police parking right there in front of Motel6, right there at that bus stop. For SNnews, I'm Terry Dwayne Ashford. We're right there. We also have here a lady that went and stood right there. It looked like a Hispanic lady, went and stood right in front of the swimming pool. She's wearing right now, walking into the hotel, a sleeveless blouse, brown top with black pants. Terry Dwayne Ashford here, StreetNOW News, reporting for you. Correction, we are documenting a white Honda SUV, tag number T0302582. That particular white Honda is an SUV, and it's filled with garbage and trucks, and parked in the very first parking space. There's parked right beside the white Taurus vehicle that's been sitting there for over a month with a tag on it, a towing out of the parking lot tag on it. At the time is 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, and what drove up right here is a dark gray Toyota. Looks like a Corolla. They're parked there with his windows down, and looks like it's signaled at Terry Dwayne Ashford. Well, we don't care about that. We're not into all of that. We are reporting, getting ready to go into this hotel. But the activity that you are seeing right now is activity that appears to be occurring as a result of the reservation that has either gone down the pipes or is coming down the pipes as a result of Washington, D.C. Metropolitan Police following the text messages that sent to Scott Horsley from Terry Dwayne Ashford. We're there and we're waiting for you from every angle. We are identifying the person in the dark gray Toyota that just arrived here, backed up to the Motel6. Dark skin. These are all dark skin. Well, let's correct that. Brown skin people wearing glasses here. We're just reporting for you. We're going to keep ourselves safe. We're going to make sure that we're going to do that on our own recognizance. For SNnews, I'm Terry Dwayne Ashford. Terry Dwayne Ashford here. We're coming back to identify the individual in the gray Toyota that just drove up as a result of what we feel is a sabotage. This particular vehicle person is a black male, a brown skinned male wearing a gray shirt, gray top, and also wearing blue jeans with a bag similar to the handbag pouch that Terry Dwayne Ashford usually carries. He appears to be a gay male. We're there reporting for you live, all for you. We have identified the black male as a Muslim with a beard, a shaved beard, a black headband with red glasses. He parked in the parking lot and then walked away from the parking lot and went into the apartment complex. Reporting live for you, I'm Terry Dwayne Ashford. That particular bus stop right in front of the Motel6 is identified as bus stop number 1003841. That is the bus stop where the Washington, D.C. Metropolitan Police parked directly in front of to signal as soon as Terry Dwayne Ashford sent the decision down the pipeline to reserve the room. That particular parking of the Washington, D.C. Metropolitan Police occurred at 10:54 a.m. Eastern Standard Time here in Washington, D.C. As Terry Dwayne Ashford, we are now identifying the Toyota, whether it's a Toyota Corolla or what, that recently come. Tag number here has been identified at this particular time as GC0661 DC tags. The man driving that particular vehicle, Grey Toyota Corolla, walked out of the parking lot, having parked inside of the parking lot, and went into the apartment complex right across the street there. And that particular man was wearing a pair of red glasses, black, what they call it, headband. And that particular man also was wearing blue jeans and a gray shirt with one of those little bags that Terry Dwayne Ashford has, carrying his equipment, his workout equipment in. Appears that man was trying to mask as Terry Dwayne Ashford. We're already there. GC0661, it's a Grey Toyota Corolla. For SNnews, I'm Terry Dwayne Ashford, reporting for you at 11:08 Eastern Standard Time here in Washington, D.C. Before we check into Motel6. For SNnews, I'm him, Indacarseat, that guy. The date is June 14th, Monday morning. I'm him, Indacarseat, that guy, because you made him that. We are coming right on back to you at 11:10 Eastern Standard Time a.m. in the morning, reporting as we're about to park. Now, again, we have not checked into the hotel as of yet, but we are noticing a white Chevy Equinox that is parking. It looks like they're surrounding the building there to carry out whatever particular activity they thought they had planned. We are already there. We have the white Equinox parked right here at Aspen Street, Aspen 900 block, GF5636, and we are waiting for you all, for SNnews, reporting for you, for your safety, for our safety, for the safety of the world. For SNnews, I'm in the car. See that guy? I'm Terry Dwayne Ashford. Now, what SNnews, StreetNOW News, your jick, Terry Dwayne Ashford, is going to do for you right now is we're going to share with you that each time Terry Dwayne Ashford gets a reservation, a particular reservation goes through Scott Horsley, through the text messaging that looks like it's been monitored through Scott Horsley and Terry Dwayne Ashford's communication. The Washington, D.C. Metropolitan Police goes and set up schemes based on that particular text message that usually making some type of reservation somewhere. And there, as you saw this morning, is what you've seen in the past and what we have documented in the past of the Washington, D.C. Metropolitan Police rushing to the location right before they think Terry Dwayne Ashford is going to get there, and the Washington, D.C. sets up the scheme there. Now, we've already identified schemes at that particular hotel. The scheme at that particular hotel this morning, before we even check in, involves a white Honda SUV, involves the white Taurus. It involves a gray Toyota Corolla, and it involves a woman, a Hispanic woman that stood there on the corner. It stood right there on the corner, appearing to have been setting up what would have been a scheme, and a prostitution scheme that was sniped already for you. StreetNOW News is there for you. Now, before we close out today, we also want to indicate that what happened as we went to the window at the hotel to discuss the rooms been blocked out, unreservable. Initially, Scott Horsley received a message that all the rooms were booked. Well, Terry Dwayne Ashford was right there at the hotel at that particular time. We walked in and we asked the attendant to check, and the attendant checked. But during that particular check-in, there was a black female that was from New York that was screaming and yelling at the desk there, and it was just screaming and yelling. She was beaten all over the desk. She had yellow fingernails. She had piercing, and she had a little brown 4-month-old pit bull puppy. That little brown pit bull puppy. She was with was jumping all over her, and she was beating on the door and yelling and screaming at Kenny at the hotel. That was the incident right before Terry Dwayne Ashford walked up to the counter. Now, knowing what was possible in that particular situation, Terry Dwayne Ashford stayed away from the window there, so he didn't want to get his image and mixed up with that particular activity. Although the young lady was nice, seemed like she would be fun to hang out with on Friday night, but I wouldn't carry out business in that particular manner. I, meaning Terry Dwayne Ashford, would not carry out business in that particular manner. The young lady was screaming and yelling, and she got a little upset. She had every reason to be upset because she said there was a mouse in her bed last night, that her puppy had to sleep with the mouse in the bed last night, and she was requesting for the corporate headquarters telephone number from Kenny at the front desk. Well, we want to make sure that that's not presumed as Terry Dwayne Ashford here, as we report for you. The second incident is, again, getting in the windows of the person while they're at the counter. While I asked the particular question to the Kenny, there was a fat, oversized fat guy that jumped right into the window, whose face could be presumed as Terry Dwayne Ashford. So, in that particular case, you have another person whose face has been posed as mine, a black lady with tattoos and piercing and a little brown dog. And then, by the same token, on the back end, you have a fat, oversized, light-skinned male who's presuming to be Terry Dwayne Ashford in all of his generosity and niceness of addressing the representative. They're swapping. And they were swapping, and we swapped it all before you got there. For SNnews, I'm Terry Dwayne Ashford. What it appears that the darker skin is swapping with the whiter skin against the ones in the middle, who they have found envy or jealousy against or for. And that is what it appears. It appears that they're going to put Terry Dwayne Ashford's faces on the activity of the black woman who was screaming and yelling, whatever. They're going to put the black woman on Terry Dwayne Ashford's face, and they're going to put Terry Dwayne Ashford's faces on the one that followed him, which was the fat, whiter race guy. For SNnews, I'm Terry Dwayne Ashford. This particular report is coming to you on June 14th, Monday morning, 11:17 Eastern Standard Time, a.m. in the morning is the current time. Terry Dwayne Ashford has yet to check into the Motel6 as of yet. And there you have already the Washington, D.C. metropolitan schemes. Washington, D.C. metropolitan schemes that includes the police led by the Washington, D.C. Metropolitan Police, because it appears to be involved all these black people. They appear to have a gang going on here attacking people. The darker skin seems to have an alliance with the lighter skin of other races to take from the middles, and that is why it probably occurred a long time ago with Dennis Rodman. For SNnews, I'm Terry Dwayne Ashford.